Family is Snumsa here at Ngosi Talk Shows. Find your own voice, lead from within. With me today, I'm with Carol Ann. How are you, Carol Ann?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. I can hear the
Mm.
gardener is actually cutting the grass. Where has he been all morning and is coming in now to make some noise?
I know. I can't hear him.
Oh, you can't hear him.
No,
Oh, that's good then.
no,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah,
That
no,
means Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm wondering where has he been?
no.
Okay, he comes in at the wrong time.
Yeah. Um, no.
Okay, so our topic today is the passion puzzle strategy for identifying your life purpose. The passion puzzle strategy is an intriguing concept that suggests covering one's life, involves putting pieces together, various elements of your passion. It could be interest and meaning of life. So, Carol, and I know you chose this topic. Are you um, asking yourself what's your purpose at the moment? What brought this topic?
Oh, it's just going through, and I just saw this something about passion, and about a whole load of questions you could ask yourself to find, what your passion is, and that it's something, if you're searching, or you're trying to find the meaning of what you're doing, or um, why you're doing what you're doing, that maybe you're searching for your purpose. And the one thing that's maybe missing in this is your passion. And it just sort of hit a chord. And I'm thinking, I don't feel very passionate about what I'm doing at the moment. There's just something is missing. And I think that's what it is. And I thought, what a great topic to sort of explore. And I actually love the passion puzzle. I put the topic into Chat GPT and just thought, give me some titles. And this one, it was like the passion puzzle. It came out, and I love puzzles. And I thought, what a lovely way to describe it, the passion puzzle. How can you piece it together to find what is your passion, what makes up your passion? Maybe there's aspects of it that you see, but you can't sort of see the full picture. Maybe it's all been broken up and you need to put it back together again. And I feel perhaps that's a sense of what's happened for me, what I have been passionate about, what's been driving me all these years. I feel maybe has just fallen apart a bit and needs putting back together. So yeah, that's why I chose the subject. I thought, well, let me see what we can explore together and find out. So what about for you? What does passion mean for you? And you're muted, by the way.
I love the topic. Is a beautiful topic to actually having to talk about, and I think the first question that you need to ask yourself is why do you need a sense of purpose? Um, and then you can find your passion because, like myself, I was in a place like you, Kiro, and where I was like, I didn't know what I'm passionate about. I knew that I'm talented in these things, but I didn't know the things that I'm passionate about. But I decided to actually pay attention, like direction and focus, just stay focused in one direction, because you'll find that when you are busy looking for your passion and people will be presenting you with the different things in life. So it's then you have to stay focused uh, in order for you to find that direction. And for me, it was like, okay, I am going to stay focused. And staying focused, I realized actually this is my passion. The things that I do, I was already doing. I was already passionate about it, but I needed to build more confidence. I need to feel, go deep with my meditation and just go deep and just enjoy what I'm doing. Because at the time I was like, I'm not enjoying this, but it was my inner being that it needed healing. I needed to heal myself so I can enjoy everything that I'm doing. So I think as well, if anyone is watching or Carol Ann, you need to do something similar because you love speaking and you're passionate about educating, speaking about what you do actually right now, you're passionate about. So I think somehow you need to find that healing your soul inside. And what I do myself, I meditate and at the same time I call myself out. Because sometimes when we live in this busy life where everybody's telling you what to do, it's easy for the mind to go to sleep. We're walking, but when zombie sleeping. So call yourself out, Carol Ann Cooper. Wake up.
Yeah.
Who are you? Ask Gary what's your passion? Ask Gary to reveal big secret about you. Because somehow there's a big secret about you. You love people, you love helping people. This is what you do. So you need to rise. Wake up.
Rise,
What?
rise,
Oh,
wake up. Yeah.
what?
Oh, and it's that just feels like there's something is missing. Um, and I think it's really like actually knowing what you're passionate about. And I guess it's finding what are those things that you're passionate about? Because maybe there's some things that are I'm passionate about that are not in my life, and there's other things I'm having to do that I'm not really passionate about. Um, because actually, when I think back, I was really passionate about teaching. And even though I didn't get a job, a teaching post when I first left teacher training college, and I got married and I had the children. But what I did was I set up a playgroup and ran a playgroup where I lived when my children were little, because that fulfilled an aspect of teaching and working with children. And then I I did some supply teaching in secondary school, even though I was only infant trained, because I said I could never teach the older ones. I was like, no, I didn't have the confidence for that. But it happened. I just found some supply work and just went into some different secondary schools. And eventually I got a long-term post, temporary, and then eventually got full-time teaching in secondary school, teaching a subject that I really love. So I never, I never saw that coming. But before I had the children, I had a job working as a calculations assistant with a company, with a group of engineers, and they gave me day release to get my degree in maths, which again is something I'm really passionate about. I love maths, and I really enjoyed that. So when I ended up teaching maths, it felt even wow. I never saw me ever leaving teaching, to be honest. But life has funny twists and turns, and I then discovered Brain Gym and sort of went into world down that avenue of personal development and training in various fields and experiencing different complementary fields as well, and sort of finding me and completely changing direction into writing and finding that writer within and finding myself helping others with writing and moving through stuckness and I just but it was setting up a business on my own. I think it's that. And when it comes to money, whereas when you're in a job, There's no question of what the money is. You're paid. You don't have to find clients, and somehow there's something that's been um, lost in terms of building my own business, or I haven't found a passion for that. So I think that's what I've been exploring. But yeah, it's I do love what I do, and I just love doing it. Um, Helping people through stuckness, helping if they get a bit stuck where they're at, or and seeing that joy of them discovering that they can do something for themselves, especially that writing. All of a sudden, they found that passion back, that joy, that love, that confidence, and it was the same as when I was teaching and drawing that out with people with their maths. That sort of that sparkle in the eye when it's oh my goodness, I can do this, you know. So yeah, I'm not sure what's missing. So I think that's what I'm exploring at the moment. And this is what people can find for themselves, you know. So maybe through this discussion, they'll find one aspect that they can explore, because there's different things that you can do to explore it and find out, well, what is missing, or what is your passion? Because actually, when you are passionate about something, that's what gets you up and gets you going and as you move forward. And when I did train in brain gym, educational kinesiology, I was just driven to just learn more and more. And I used to get up every day and I'd be practicing the activities, the balances. I trained in other fields and I'd be getting up and practicing those. And I even wrote some of my own balances and procedures, you know. It's just because I loved it. But somewhere along the line, it's sort of faltered a little bit. And even though I've been going back to like the beginning, I've been attending some trainings with some of the key things that I'm trained in. I trained in the beginning, and I'm going, oh my goodness, reconnecting with the simplicity and the love that is there that I have with these modalities, and wondering what's gone on all these years, you know, what's happening. So yeah, I think this is a great topic to explore, and maybe other people have done trained in something, shifted and trained in something else, and then moved on, and they find themselves back, gone full circle, and wondering, well, what's going on? Where am I going? And that can happen. So again, is what is your passion? So that's why this discussion, I think, would be great, because it does help you identify your life's purpose. And it's something that you can just keep going on, and it helps you overcome obstacles and challenges. If you're constantly working on yourself and going, well, what is my passion? And maybe I was never really aware of that word. Well, I'm passionate about this, because maybe it was just something that was there. And now having to look, it's like, okay, yeah, right. Don't know. So what are you hearing in all of that nonsense? Where does that ring true for you anywhere, or any people that you work with? Have you found that maybe with couples with it, relationships, has their passion for life maybe affected their passion for each other? You're muted again.
Question again, Carol Ann.
The
This guy
question?
is making noise.
Oh, is he? I can't hear him. Oh no.
He's making
Well, there's all
noise.
that noise, and this is maybe where we get, we can't hear our passion. Life gets in the way. Life gets in the way, and we're so drawn into life. And I think that's what's happened to me over the years, just living and things, some of the challenges I've had. And yeah, you lose sight of or feeling of the passion. And but I sort of asked you if you um anything that I said sort of rung true for you, or if you notice with people that you work with in like relationships where people have perhaps lost their passion for life and it's affected their passion in their relationship.
All the time, all the time. Mostly when people go through hard times in life,
Mm,
they give up on life purpose. You find somebody very educated and they have really they are financial secure, but they're like, I feels like my life is not complete because they've had these
mm,
disappointments in life. But instead of focusing on healing themselves, they are focusing on what has gone wrong in their lives, and that disconnect
mm,
your soul. It disconnects your inner being with yourself, because we need to stay connected with our inner being. Like you say, um life is physical and both spiritually.
mm,
And when you are disconnected in the realm of the spirit, that means in the physically, you're a dead walking zombie that has no direction in life. Although life is there, but you feel like life is not complete. But
mm,
for you, I think, Kero, and that if anyone that is watching, like what I always help people with, is like what you've been through in life, let it help you to rise.
mm,
Because everything that you cannot teach what you have not gone through. That's what I always say to
mm,
people, and that's what I always say to myself, that I cannot teach what I have not gone through. So every pain that I've gone through, every disappointment that I have gone through, how I rose above it is my purpose. God is showing me that, okay, you've gone through this life. You found your breakthrough through this life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's abuse, something there that people tend to focus on other things, because we are who we are today because of the pain that we've gone through. That pain, it gives us strength. It helps us to find our true self by going through healing. And when we go through healing, rising above it and creating a strategy of survival. Like, okay, this is the strategy how am I going to survive in this world? Okay, I found my breakthrough. And in order for me to keep this breakthrough alive, this is my strategy. And that strategy yourself, it is your purpose. That's when you have to sit down now. Ask yourself, ask God to reveal the secret about you, a hidden secret, because everything you go through in life, there's a hidden secret of who you are supposed to be. I went homeless, and here's me like I'm thinking I'm going homeless, focusing on homeless, okay, and then I'm realizing now that no, I was never going homeless. I had to go through that process in order for me to be grateful, to learn so many things about life. I cannot be what I'm supposed to be without having to go through pain. And that's what I've realized when I was praying through God. And I'm like, why am I going through this pain? But you are the God of, you are Jehovah El Shaddai. Why am I suffering? So then I'm realizing that every pain that I'm going through, if I'm going to go on stage and talk about pain, I got to be something that I've gone through it. I've got to like the soul, like healing. If I'm going to teach somebody how to go through divorce, I've gone through it. You've gone through it. So why are you looking at other things? Why God has given you everything in front of you? You've gone through teaching, Carol Ann. you're fantastic, brilliant with maths. And there's so many things. You're a speaker, you do so many things. So finding your purpose is like it's now sitting down and say, God, reveal a secret about me. Because sometimes you've been through a lot. Like 1 minute your health was 100%, 1000 fine. And then the next thing you're telling us you are in a hospital and we're thinking we're never gonna see you. And then you fight that battle and then you come out. So somehow, you got to rise above that and be Kero Anne that God is meant to become. So how do you become that? This is where you find your purpose.
Mm.
Because you've gone through challenges in life.
I think what I'm hearing here, and I'm sort of getting a sense of, is I have a passion for life, just for living and discovering and exploring and overcoming challenges
Yeah.
and helping others to do the same
Oh,
and
yeah.
to shift that. Because I mean, when I was in hospital, I was, okay, yeah, there were many times when I was down and crying and thinking, oh God, why, Lord, and pray. And then I'd be able to turn that around and bounce back up again. And was talking to, there was two ladies who were with me in that particular ward. There was one bed that kept changing, people that kept changing, but there was these other two beds. They changed a few times when I was in there at the beginning, and then there was these two ladies that just stayed for the rest of my stay, and it was so beautiful, because their whole attitude shifted because they kept saying to me, "Oh gosh, you're so positive." But I would just gently say to them, "Well, I'll just shift your wording. How about saying it this way rather than the sort of very negative and doom and gloom? Um, reword it." And we would sort of have a laugh. And there was one of the ladies, she lost one of her hearing aids and she was struggling to hear. And she came over, she kept apologizing. And in the end, I said to her, "Why are you apologizing to keep having to say, can you repeat yourself?" I said, "It's nothing to apologize for." And she sort of explained. I said, "Have you made to be, feel wrong for it?" And she went, "Yeah." I said, "Well, that's their issue. Whoever it is that's doing that, that's their issue. You just be yourself." Because she was such a fun, bubbly person. And she was the one that really started the whole chatting and getting to be friends. So she did actually eventually stop apologizing for not being, for not being able to hear properly, or for keep sort of asking for us to repeat ourselves, which was lovely. And so, yeah, I could see her starting to get a bit more confident in herself. But yeah, I think there is that passion for just living, for just helping others to get through whatever it is that is challenging them. So um I just need to keep on doing that and the rest will fall into place. And I think that's what most people need to realize. If you find what you're passionate at and just keep doing it, other things will fall into place. But if there is a sort of a hole or a sense of something missing, then maybe do some activities to sort of try and find, well, what is your passion? Because maybe there's activities that you'd really love to do that you're not doing. Because there is a difference between passion and interests and hobbies. A passion is much, much deeper. It has more intensity and depth to it, and you're much more consistent, and you tend to do it more, long time. And you engage more into it. It's like with me with jigsaw puzzles. I will spend time on a jigsaw puzzle and completely lose track of time and get so engrossed in it. And the same with reading, times when I get into that zone. So it's really asking yourself, what is it that you can get so engrossed in and lose track of time? because that's where your passion is. Because you don't then find yourself being sidetracked. You don't get distracted. You don't put it off. You just do it. Because it's like with this jigsaw puzzle, the couple of jigsaw puzzles I've had a few weeks ago that I was doing, I got them out and I ended up focusing on them till the early hours of the morning, getting up the next day and carrying on. And, even though I hadn't intended to, I just found myself drawn to do it and just completely lost track of time. So it's being able to have that focus. And what is it you'd like to have that focus on? So, what you are saying, what you've been through helps you rise above. But it is your attitude to what you've been through that helps you rise above. Because if you're rising and swimming, you're not sinking. Now, some people go through the same thing and completely sink. And it's down to attitude and mindset. And knowing that there's something to learn here. So as you say, my whole hospital experience, I just going, what can I learn from this? And just kept bringing myself to being present and recognizing when I was drifting off or wafting away and making myself, feeling sorry for myself, but then bring it back and learn the lesson. And the same when my house got repossessed. I've long since sort of let that go in terms of feeling sorry for myself or making myself wrong. It happened. I took myself there to that point of repossession. And I've learned so much from it. I've just kept learning the lessons. And even on the day when I had to leave, and the days when I was able to come back and move all my furniture out, I would meditate in the morning to start with, just bring myself present. Right, this is what I've got to get done today. And I had a whole lot of family and friends come and help me shift everything. And I was just laser focused on, right, this, I allocated each person a room. We started upstairs and then the next day we did downstairs, but it got done. And it's about your whole mindset, because I could have quite easily just lost not just the house, but everything within it if I hadn't just gone, right, let's be focused and shift everything out. But what was interesting was I'd always had, knowing I was sort of, and feeling I was being taken to end up losing the house or getting it repossessed, I had this thought of, well, how does it work? How am I going to get all this stuff out of this house? It was a four bedroom, semi-detached, but it was extended. So it had lots of stuff in there, 30 odd years of living in there, a whole lot of stuff in the attic. And I can remember thinking, how am I going to empty this? How am I going to do it? I don't think I can do it. And because I kept focusing on that, even though I tried not to, because I know what you focus on is what you get, I ended up going there and literally I emptied that house in 2 days. Because I didn't fully empty it because I was very discerning. There were some things I went, no, don't want that. Pack that up. Just got boxes, packed everything up and took it to a storage unit. Done in 2 days. I was like, oh, so that's how it's done. So my question got answered. I was always thinking, well, are they going to chuck me out of the house and chuck all my stuff out of the house? Because I kept reading stories about where people had their houses repossessed and everything just got chucked out at the same time. So I think I needed to go through it to experience it, to know the truth of it. And my experience was quite a positive one, really. So, but because my attitude was positive. So again, maybe in there, I'm just thinking that I have a passion for learning through, I don't know, through experience, but that's how we learn. We learn through experience. And as you say, Namsa, if we've gone through something, we can actually then help other people. And it's how you rise above it. And I've realized that actually I've engrossed myself in just diving deep into finding me, clearing stuff to such depths, and getting to such a deep, deep sense of peace and tranquility that I can now hold the space for anybody going through emotion, going through whatever they're saying, and I can just listen without it impacting me, so that I can help guide them through and support them on their journey. I don't tell them how to get through their journey. It's just, I'm there I can support, and I can support emotionally as well, and hold that space, because that's where they need to be in that moment. It's not about holding them in it. It's about holding the space for them to be in it and move out of it. And if anything does impact me, I can now acknowledge it and go, okay, I'll deal with that, pack it up and hand it over, say, okay, Lord, just look after that a moment, and I'll come back to it and continue to hold the space. And so I think that's a skill that and a strength that's there now. So again, it's one of those things you can do to explore everything. It's your value, explore your values, your strengths, your interests, and what you really love to do in different ways. That will help you find what you're passionate about. What are you hearing, Non? So what do you think?
Like it when you say passion is you go deep. Um, you're right. With a passion, you have to go deep because it's looking at your satisfaction in life, a sense of connection with yourself and the people around you. You have to look at so many things, like the way you're saying. And also, it's like giving time. There's some people who give money, who give time, and I like the topic, Carol Ann, because when we look deep in life, it's like you've gone through, like yourself, you've gone through all these challenges in life, and for some reason, God is giving you that this is the person that you're meant to be, and but then you yourself have to believe it, whatever the pain you've gone through. And because when you go through all these things, and then you find this strategy of bankruptcy. If you were to ask me about bankruptcy and losing homes, I wouldn't know about it. But if I needed somebody to really tell me the strategy, how were you able to do that? And mostly, I think in this world, that's what rich people go through. 1 minute they have it all, and then the next they don't have it. Nothing lasts forever. So that's where you come in. You teach me how do I get back up? Yeah, so that's where you come in. You teach me how to I get back up. But you have to be passionate about. You got to recognize yourself. But in order for our audience to actually recognize their passion, what they're passionate about, it requires a lot. It requires you to have a good support system. It requires you to have something to boost your everyday energy. And the people around you, are they influencing you positively? Do you have a healthy relationship? And you have to be surrounded by things that inspire you to grow. You have to learn how to reduce your stress, and so you can increase resilience, and then it just be in a place where you are like, God, I need to know who I'm not supposed to be and what's my purpose in life. For me, I work myself. Nomsa, wake up, because life is so it's so stressful, and when you're surrounded by people, you
Mm.
can easily be led by things that really you're not passionate about. And so those are the things that people always say, like, Ngosi talk shows, like when we were talking to Grant, and he was like, Nomsa, you need to find one niche. If Ngosi talk shows is for relationship, it has to. I was like, you don't understand. Before I started a relationship or matchmaking, I thought love is just about love. And then I said to him, the umbrella of our lives, it affects our love life. The things that we have to go through, it affects our love life. Everything. When you get a clients, like if you are a dating coach or you are a relationship coach, before you do anything, you get to ask the clients the background. Where are they? Where have they been? And in order for you to bring them together to help them, even matchmaking them, you got to teach them to stay focused, because it's easy for somebody to say, okay, Nomsa, I'm looking for love. Then I match them. Then what? I've been there. I've done that. Where I'm like looking for love. I pay a matchmaker, find me love. They go and search for me. And then I go through the divorce. And because I thought life is all about finding that special person. But the love life, in order for me to keep love, to be happy to be in a healthy relationship, I got to understand the baggage that comes with it. And the baggage that comes with it, business can affect a relationship. If somebody is miserable at work, demanding work can affect relationships at home. So that person needs to be able to deal with the bankruptcy can affect people at home. So that's why you find like people like Tony Robbins, they don't just focus on relationship. He focuses on the whole aspects of life. What do you need to be? The state of mind where you need to be in the state of life in order to be that, to have that happiness that you desire in life. So you've gone it through all Carol on. You can get out there. I don't know what passion you're looking for anyway, because you're already passionate about it and the audience can confirm that. So I have no idea why you're still
Mm.
searching, but I think what you need to do, you just need to pang yourself, wake up, Carol Ann. Honestly,
Yeah.
you just need to ping yourself and just get up, Carol Ann, and just get on with it. Yeah.
I hear you. I'm just aware of it, and of a sort of a hollow in me and in my life. Maybe maybe it's just an hallucination. Who knows now? Um, Hallucinations can be so real. Having experienced them in ICU, oh my goodness. Um, I now know what hallucinations are and how real they can be. And even now, I still things I'm thinking, but that must have been a hallucination because it can't possibly be right, you know. But I think just feeling into the space and just being with the hollowness that's here, or this lack of energy, it may just be me finding my feet again. And it takes time to heal with what I've been through. And sometimes we need to allow ourselves to take time, but asking these sort of questions and really dive into where's the passion gone for life, or where's the passion gone for running your business or doing what you're doing. maybe just dive into that. But I guess the passion for life is still here with me, because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. I wouldn't be as healthy looking as I am, and doing the walking and the exercising that I'm doing. As hard as it is, and as my body is still very tight and tense, and stiff, there is still that I have that flexibility that I used to have is still there. And it's just allowing that flexibility and the tension within my body and joints to just relax and go. Um, and just keep working on that, because I realized that actually for years before I went into hospital, I was not exercising. So my muscles, my joints just literally, I guess you could say, atrophied. They just, and now I'm working them and they're going, oh, what's working, and they tend to stiffen up. So I just keep working on it. And I have a sense that something will eventually kick in, because if you just, what you focus on is what you get. And I know that if you keep going, there's something that just eventually will kick into place. It's like the universe goes, okay, you're serious. Here you are. And sometimes you get given things that you have asked for, but they show up not in the way you think they might. And I was reminded of something yesterday when I was just going through some questions about what do I need to let go of in order to sort of move forward. And I realized one of the things is trying to control everything, trying to plan it all out. And I had that even in hospital. There were times when I said, oh, for heaven's sake, Caroline, stop trying to plan it. Stop trying to control it, because it just wouldn't go the way I sort of got it in my head. And all of this, has happened over the years. And I remember way back years ago when I knew I wanted to leave teaching, go part-time teaching and part-time setting up my business, because I was then training in educational kinesiology and all the other fields. So I thought, oh, I'll do part and part. But I was trying to work it out myself. And I used to screw my brain up thinking, how can I do this? How can it work? And in the end, I was off sick from school for 2 terms, from the September to the Easter. And then at the Easter, I was given a package to leave. And it's like, oh, okay. So I left. I took the package because I still wasn't well enough to go back full time, and especially not as head of department. And there was no way I could do part and part. So anyway, I left the school that I was teaching at, and within a few months, I found a part-time job in a college, which I applied for and got within a space of a month. Just really found it, applied for it, had the interview, got the job. And it was like, oh, this is what I've been asking for. This was what I was trying to plan to see how it would work myself. But it just happened. It was part-time teaching, part-time time for myself to explore building my business. And I've realized that this is what I've been doing now. I've been trying to plan things out again, make it work. There's another level of just letting it go. And there's something about bringing into your daily life what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what are your hobbies and that. And if you find that you're just working, and everything else is getting in the way, just stop and say, right, well, how can I plan in doing something I really love doing? So for me, I'm now focusing on, I go to a mahjong club once a week. I now go to a board games club. I've been once and I'm looking to go again. And that probably won't be once a week, but it would certainly be there. It's something I really love doing. And there are other things. So like the gym, this specific gym that I'm going to, it's called Gymophobics. And it's brilliant because it's not working with weights. It's working with, again, with resistance against air pressure. And it's literally a 30-minute circuit around some these pieces of equipment. And it's 3 minutes on each piece of equipment. And before you know it, 30 minutes is done and you've done the circuit. And I'm really enjoying it. And I'm thinking, oh, heck, I want to fit more of this. I started off with once a week and now I'm doing twice a week. And now I'm thinking, well, I'd like to fit in more, because it's getting me out. I'm enjoying it and I'm feeling the benefit from it. And because when I'm out and I'm walking, I find things are turning over and my mind is thinking and everything is starting to fall into place, you know. So, and certainly the hot pod yoga where we're doing yoga and it's in a big blown up like tent, a pod that can hold about 20 people, and it's heated up, and the ends are zipped up when we're in there, and she starts the class, and it's heated up to 37 degrees, and yeah, just finding it's a nurturing flow one, so it's one of the more gentler ones, but really I'm finding it quite powerful in releasing emotion and releasing tension in my body. And so because I am passionate about movement, I used to love dancing. I want to be able to run again. So I can walk, but I've managed to do a little bit of running, but um eh, so yeah, it's uh movement is so important because movement gets your brain active. But what are your interests? Try, not try, do it. Even if it's only once a week, something that you really love doing. Find time for it and then see what else manages to seep in and what joy then starts to come back into your life and your relationships. But you really need to find your own passion, first of all. So one of the ways is to find what are your values? What's really important to you? And it's the same in a relationship. If you've lost your way a bit, the passion's gone. What are you both passionate about? You need to do it individually. Because when you can find your passion and then maybe your passion for each other can come back again. What is it that you love doing together? What is it that you love perhaps doing separately? Is that one of your values to be able to do things independently and do things together? Work out what your values are. That's a part of then finding your passion. What other ways do you think people could find their passion, Namsa, or find that spark again in their relationship?
I think what you have mentioned, Carol Annie, is very, very important. I like it when you begin, you said sometimes we ask for things and the universe has other things, things never show up how we ask them. Um, and you are right in that way as well, because sometimes we may think that our passion is this because we don't stay focused and reflecting on who we are as a person. And then we then meditate or
Mhm.
we ask God or we ask the universe, could you please reveal my passion? And then the passion shows up and you're like, what? I've seen people that are like I've seen testimonies, people saying, wow, this beautiful woman walked in and I was like, this is my wife. And God says, and I'm praying to God, and God says, no, that is not your wife. And he says, your wife is there. I'm like, that one, that just is somebody, that person that is nobody, is you telling me is my wife? And my pastor was telling us a story, and this guy, he had this girl that he had an eye on. He thought it was his wife. And now he went back to God and prayed, and God went, that's not your wife. Your wife is that one. And this woman is the woman that comes to church. Everyone, it was like she's not passionate about anything. She's just an ordinary person who comes to church. That's what he thought anyway. So God says it's your wife. And the woman that he wanted, so then he prayed and prayed. He ended up marrying this woman. That God showed they got married. They are happily ever after, very successful together. But this one he wanted, that was really he was attracted to the looks. She died after 6 months. So on the other way, God was showing me that she hasn't got long to live. She's going. Her date of death has already been assigned, but this is the person that he will stay with you until whatever, until I decide to call them. But at the moment, but the person that he wanted, and I've had so many stories. People like they say, I thought my husband was gonna be this, but when I changed my mind about what the things that I go for, and then I find my happiness. I've met like through relationships, coaching. I've met people they tell me their crush is George Clooney. And I'm saying, you got to find me George Clooney. So I'm like, what if George Clooney is not your future husband and you're attracted to somebody similar to him? And then I'm like, what if somebody walks in as somebody that is so beautiful inside out? And I believe that this person could be the person that you can stay in a relationship and be happy. Would you be willing to give them a chance, go on a date and see how things goes? Because it's the attraction at the end of the day. And they're like, in the end, they're like, okay, then I would do that. And then they come back and they're like, actually, I'm glad that you actually encourage me to do this because I'm happy. And I've seen it with my daughter. She will be like determined, like, I'm not doing this, mommy. I'm not doing this. And then she goes and she comes back and she's like, I'm actually happy. I'm glad that you
Mm.
actually asked me to do that. So sometimes
Mm.
what we think is our destiny is show our destiny. What do we ask? God, life shows up in a different way.
Mm.
And the passion that we think, I think mostly is going back to your childhood. I think this is where the true person that is there. If you can remember when you were a child at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's the real you. If you can actually
Mm-hmm.
back,
Excuse me.
because that person, when you're in that childhood, they're not fake, they're true. Everything they do is real. So it's very, very important to actually reflect on things. When you reflect on things, explore diverse areas, pay attention to feedback, and also follow curiosity. And the other thing is make sure that whatever you do, you decide to do, it, it aligns with your values and embrace the challenge because whatever the passion that you choose, it comes with challenge, guys. So embrace the challenge. The challenge is a blessing. Everything we do in life, it becomes a blessing. So for me, that's what I have learned in life. That there's some things that I thought that this was me, this is I do this, but then as you go deep, you find that life is more than that.
Absolutely. Life is more than that.
Yeah.
And I'm just reminded of something you said earlier that where I come in to teach you how to get back up. I just like to sort of clarify, and as much as I don't teach you, I help you find the way, and the way is in within you. So it's supporting you to find that way. It's a gentle sort of support and guidance. It's not about teaching you or telling you what to do, but it's enabling you. It's facilitating that lifting up and getting up and out. And so, yeah, I love that. where you said that's where you come in. I went, oh yeah, yeah, got it. I love that picture. But there's something else you said, Nomsa, which I loved. And it was the umbrella of our lives affects our love life. What a beautiful phrase, because it is. And it is something we need to explore and look at.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just realizing that also time has a constraint on us at times. And there's so much more we could explore with this. And so there are other sort of techniques and exercises that you can use to find your passion. And it is about, one of them is actually journaling. Just have some, write down, because that helps for self-reflection and exploration. And answer questions like, what activities make me lose track of time? What values do I admire in others and why? Because it's also recognizing what you see in someone else is in you. And very often we love it. We see it in someone else and we think, oh, I wish I was like that. It's there. It just is a bit dormant and hasn't woken up. And once you realize that it is within you, you can find it and wake it up. That's where the magic is. Um, and other things. What accomplishments have I felt most proud of? And what strengths did I utilize to achieve that accomplishment? You could write about that. And then what dreams and aspirations have I always had, but never pursued? That's just a few ideas of journaling, which will help you to get into, well, what's my passion? So journaling is a very good way of diving in. What are you passionate about? Where's your passion? And as it is a puzzle, it's got different aspects to it. If it doesn't feel complete, what is it that feels not complete? Feel your way, find it. If it doesn't seem complete, what is it you need to see? And maybe it doesn't hear, you can't hear that it's complete. Well, what do you need to hear for it to complete? Recognize these different modalities. So I'd just like to leave you with a quote by Robert T. Kiyosaki. True passion attracts. If you have passion in your business, the right people will be attracted to your team. True passion attracts. So that not just, I don't see that as just, or hear that as it's for your team, but what about also clients? It attracts. So this is where you need to keep working on yourself. Okay, so what would you like to leave our audience with, Namsa?
For me, is they have to remember that discovering life purpose is a journey rather than a destination, and it
Mm,
comes with, you have to be patient with yourself. You have to stay curious and keep exploring life until you find what truly lights you up in life, and also don't compare your life with anybody.
mm.
Stay focused. On LinkedIn, I get loads of people, like they'll be like, no, sir, we have this business opportunity. I'm like, it's not for me. And they're like, but you can have loads of businesses. You don't have, I'm like, I know I don't have to focus on one thing, but there are some things that I have to pray about. If you present it to me,
Mm,
in a long run, is it going to work for me, or is it just going to cause distraction and then it falls apart? So I'm like,
mm,
I work with God. You give me something that God says, yes, I take it. Whatever that might be, bring it on. So just meditate, pray if you pray, and speak to your inner being, because
mm,
sometimes the giant is inside, the enemy is inside. and find that purpose in my already there, like my someone that I know.
Okay.
Guys, if you're watching us in Ghosty Talk Shows family, if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching us on social media, please do follow us. We have two groups, Unique Billionaire Mindset and Ghosty Talk Shows. And go to the website as well. And if you're looking for love, register for love, finding your purpose. We have a coaching page. You can register for coaching page. And God bless everyone and live with grace.